Howdy there. A couple days ago, I saw Friends with Kids, and I thought it was good. I enjoyed the glimpse into their lives. I give it a 7. It's about, we've got basically 3 couples, Manhattan socialite couples. I mean, one of them isn't, like, technically a couple, but anyway. You've got 3 Manhattanite couples, socialite, whatever. They say they'll never have kids. And, like, flash forward 3-4 years later, 2 of the couples has kids. The third couple, again, they're best friends. They're not really a couple. Feel left out. Feel like they want a kid. So they have a kid together, but they don't get married. You know, they, as they say, they are 100% committed 50% of the time. And so they, it's basically this grand experiment of raising a kid and seeing how it affects their lives, how it affects their friendships. It's basically, not about much, but about a lot, because it's about life, and them trying to raise this kid. And not really raise the kid. We don't get to see the kid too much, but just basically try and be happy individually or together, however they can work it out. And they think that the kid can, make them happy. Was written and directed by Jennifer Westfield. I've not seen any of her films before. I think she's made some films before. I'm not familiar with her work. I'm not familiar with her as an actress, really. She also basically stars in the film. She's the central female lead. Adam Scott, I think is his name, from Parks and Rec, Step Brothers. He's good here. I mean, he like blends. I first noticed him in Step Brothers, the Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly comedy, where he plays Will Ferrell's actual brother, and he's just an asshole. And I've never really seen him be an asshole since then, except for maybe on like that one episode of Eastbound and Down. But here he's back to kind of being an asshole, mixed with his kind of affable goofball character on Parks and Rec. And so when I first saw him, he was a tremendous asshole. He was a great asshole. And so finally he's back to kind of being that asshole, which he's really good at. So Adam Scott is very good in the film. And he has to, he has to do a lot. And I actually haven't seen him do a performance this complex. So I think this is a kind of a breakthrough for him. So I really enjoyed his performance. Even, when he's breaking down and crying, I was there with him, and I thought it was believable. I thought he did a good job. Again, Jennifer Westfield is also the female lead. She does a fine job. Obviously, she has like the most demanding role in the film. I imagine that she kind of wrote it for herself, that this is her kind of breakthrough vehicle. It obviously is very important to her. I could definitely tell that this was a singular voice. I also noticed that she had some very good producing help. I noticed that Mike Nichols was a producer. Hold on just 1 second. Hello? Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Yeah, I could tell that this was, the expression of a singular voice, which I really enjoyed. Also stars Maya Rudolph, John Hamm. I can't think of his name. He was really good in this. He was in Bridesmaids. He played the, was he British? The British cop in Bridesmaids. I guess the love interest. He's really good here. He's really good here. I thought he was kind of the standout performance. And Kristen Wiig. So we've got like a little mini Bridesmaids reunion. John Hamm, Kristen Wiig, Maya Rudolph, and the fella from Bridesmaids. They're the other couples with kids. All the acting is really good. They maybe play... Like, John Hamm is basically kind of a stereotype to me. He doesn't have too much to do, and of course he nails it because it's perfectly cast for him. But, again, he doesn't get to do much. He just has to play that kind of Don Draper light, except in 2012. Maya Rudolph's always very good. She's good. Kristen Wiig... She's underused here. I mean, that's the only word I have for it, underused. Even when her, face is blank, she makes me laugh. She makes me laugh. There is something about her that is just hilarious. And again, when she is supposed to be emotionless, the way she does it is just so funny. And even though her expression is blank, her eyes just are on fire, and I think she's a genius. I love her. All the acting, pretty solid. I think it all comes down to story here. It sometimes focuses on the main relationship, but then we're given glimpses into the lives of the friends with the kids, with the standard. They got married, they had kids. We get to see them sporadically, and it all works, but it just makes me wish that, or it makes me think that they were trying to do too much. That maybe just focus on the central relationship, and I guess it was about an hour and 40-minute film. I mean, maybe you could make it 90 minutes and it would just be smoother. But it had a lot to say about modern relationships, which I don't really understand. This is kind of, it's funny that I watched this with a double feature with Jeff, who lives at home. And Jeff, who lives at home, I saw bits of my life. Just right up there on the screen, and with friends with kids, I have nothing to identify with. I have nothing to identify with. So, that was, I guess I felt always like an observer. I always felt like an observer, and felt like, oh, well, I'm glad this isn't happening to me, I guess. I enjoyed it. It wasn't spectacular, and it wasn't bad. I thought that at times it was very brave. I thought it used its vulgarity very intelligently. It's R-rated, for the sex and the language. I think some drug use anyway. I thought it was very clever with its vulgarity. It wasn't overly vulgar, and it was vulgar in just the right way and in just the right places. I thought it had a lot of insight. I thought it had a lot of wisdom. And again, I appreciate it as a, artistic expression of Jennifer Westfeld. Again, I'm not familiar with her. I don't really know what else to say. But it'd make a good rental. I don't really see any reason to go rush out and see it in the theater. But I think it would make it definitely a good rental. So that's Friends with Kids. I give it a 7. It was a good time. Insightful. Thanks.